Hello, I'm Nathan King, correspondent with CGTN, and you'll never guess why I'm actually in the middle of Beijing Exhibition Hall. It's quite an incredible exhibition. Let's just do a 360 so you can sort of see where we are. You'll see a lot of people here today because it's one of sort of the hottest tickets in town. It's absolutely free. This exhibition is basically called Achievements 5 Years On. And it's really all about the achievements of the Communist Party of China and China itself in the last 5 years. And you know, I don't think I've ever seen an exhibition like it. It's extremely detailed, it's extremely interactive. Let's just show you a couple of things so you can sort of place yourself. See this? This is a model of a nuclear power station. You know, obviously China in the last few years has really invested in nuclear power. It's now exporting nuclear power stations across the world, part of the One Belt, One Road initiative, etc., etc. There are models everywhere. Sort of, you know, we're used to all the speeches this week at the 19th Party Congress in the Great Hall, the press conferences, the plenums, lots of words, right? This is completely opposite. This visually shows you kind of what everyone's been talking about this week, and that's why I quite like. So that's my second time here. I quite like coming here because, you know, you sort of think a lot about what's happening in China, but this actually shows you. Let's walk over here. I want to just show you this. Pia Yi's our camera woman, and she's going to have to follow me around because I'm going to change directions quite a lot. But look, some of you international viewers might recognize this. This is the new port that's being built in Pakistan, Gouda Port. It's a very, very big initiative on the Belt and Road, and also the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, as other people know it as well. Huge investment, and it's right here as you walk in to this really quite massive exhibition. As you can see, let's just move this way. As you can see, the whole hall is sort of separated into sections. As you walk in, there's a section, sort of introduction into the Communist Party. There's photos of President Xi, General Secretary Xi. There's also a picture of the People's Standing Committee members, a short video about former Communist Party leaders. So it sort of sets the tone. But then you walk in here, and it's really divided up into different rooms here. We have one on the politics, we have one on the military, we have one on the economy, several on the economy actually, if you think about it, because it comes into so much of what the CPC has been doing over the last 5 years. But then there's these sort of, and you'll see a lot of kids here, which is what they've really thought this through in terms of appealing to adults and children. You'll see a lot of models. We showed you the nuclear power station already, right? Come over here, there's a few others. I mean, as a kid, I would have just freaked out about this because this is lovely. But look, this is a model of a ship lift. I mean, you can see this kid here who's quite excited. His dad's explaining what's happening. You see, ship lift. This sort of gives a really good idea to China's younger generation about sort of what's going on. You know, there's so many different projects, so many different things. They can come here with their families, talk about it. There's a lot of guides around, so it's really quite well done. I mean, you have things like this. I mean, you know, this is a huge coal-fired power plant model. You know, as kids, you know, you find all these buildings just fascinating on this scale. So it's really well done. And then there's, you know, there's lots of different rooms focusing on lots of different things. But then there are things that are sort of iconic of China in the last 5 years. And I tried to pick a few out for you while we were wandering around today. This is one of my favorites, and I think a lot of viewers to CGTN would have seen this before. You know, robotics is sort of the future. We've seen this before, haven't we, in stories we've done about parcel sorting. They've been in warehouses, and they basically move a lot of parcels around and sort all the different parcels. And, you know, we've seen an explosion in e-commerce. This makes it very cost effective, which brings the cost of goods and, of course, mailing down. It says do not touch on the top, but I can tell you a lot of people, including myself, have had a little touch. So that's one end of the scale, you know, small robots, intelligent factories, and then, of course, you know, there's a big crowd around here because everyone recognizes this, right? China's high-speed rail. And what we have here is 3 different models. As you know, recently the fastest train is being launched. Was it go up to 350 kilometers an hour? The ones I've been on mainly about 200 kilometers an hour, a bit higher, but very, very good indeed, very fast. And you know, this celebrates what, quite frankly, has been quite an achievement. What is it, 20,000 kilometers now of high-speed rail track over China, another 10,000 at least planned, and then of course it's going to be rolled out both regionally and internationally in terms of the Belt and Road Initiative. So you know, that's another highlight as well. And it also, you know, there are other exhibits that sort of just show you what's going on in different parts of China that you may not be aware of. For example, you know, I didn't know that the National Science Center was based just outside of Shanghai and looked like this. So this is kind of cool to show. It really is, you know, and you know, this is all about the last 5 years, so it's really quite incredible to look at the scale. And all around you can see lots of people taking pictures and stuff. They've made it very interactive. You can get souvenirs from automated machines. There's a picture, there's a stream of pictures. Big data's really been brought into this, really modern display techniques. It really is quite well done. We're going to take a bit of a walk now because I want to show you probably one of the most interesting parts of this whole exhibition, which is really a focus on innovation and technology in the future. Let's just walk this way. But as we do walk, I'll talk to you about other sections as well. Just to give you a few figures, this exhibition, I think, has only been on a few weeks. I think there's about over 700,000 people have already been here. I would suggest that's probably going to be close to 1 million after this weekend. But it's open till November, so millions will have come here. And it's really interesting. You would think that if it's a, you know, if it's an exhibit just for the party, that it would just sort of be party members and delegates. It really isn't. It's a really sort of big day out for a lot of Beijingers and also a lot of tourists here. It's really focused on China's achievements and the party sort of guiding hand in that. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. Let's go this way. You'll see a few sponsored exhibits as well. Xinhua News sponsors this exhibit, for example. The wire service here in China, the National Wire Service for News. Let's walk on through. Yeah, they've really done a good job of sort of covering sort of every inch of the Beijing Exhibition Hall with different exhibits. I was actually here the other day, and there were a lot of people waving sort of party flags and stuff. What's kind of cool is like a lot of small cadres, small groups of party officials come here together as their sort of local party and sort of have a party day out looking at this exhibition as well, which I thought was kind of cool. But as I said, you know, it's families, young, old. It's a real big day out, and it's free. So you know, living in a city like Beijing gets expensive. So it's kind of nice to take the whole family out for a free exhibit as well. We're just coming up to what's this one? Oh yeah, this is the military. I want to just show you quick. We're not going to go inside because we've got to go a bit further. But I'm just going to show you sort of how it works. Yeah, this exhibit's pretty impressive. There's a lot of people in here. This is really all about the sort of military reform that we've seen in the last 5 years, changing, you know, the People's Liberation Army from a sort of army, over 1.3 million men, into a more sort of modern fighting force divided into the different services: Air Force, Navy, Army, and bringing in lots of reforms in terms of technology. It's really quite a fascinating exhibit. This room you could stay in actually for a good few hours. But what we're going to do is we're going to take you this way, because, sorry, there's always people coming in front. Don't worry, that will happen. Because what we thought we'd show you today is sort of a lot of the innovation that's been happening in the last 4 or 5 years. Innovation, as you know, was one of the first words in the latest 5-year plan, and you know, it's not just a word. I mean, if you were looking at the sort of speeches and all the press conferences that we've been seeing this week, you know, innovation very much heart of where the CPC wants to see development go. I mean, there's a lot of talk about quality economy rather than quantity economy, and innovation is kind of the heart of that. Even as traditional, here's a rather patriotic display of China's military might there. You'll see surveillance plane up there in the middle. That's the aircraft carrier and destroyer, frigate, amphibious launching vehicles, and we've got all the new array of jets. Well, I don't see the J-20. Maybe it's not up there. Okay. And then also ballistic missiles, so it's sort of all captured. Right, let's go here. Ooh, sorry. See, it's crowded. Hey, Peter. It's Peter, our cameraman. He's filming other stuff. Right. And if we go through here, now this is my favorite bit because it's got lots of things you can play with. Okay. So, this is basically sort of ideas of the future room, and there's got a lot to take in. But this is great because it's got a lot of innovation from robotics. Let's take you this way to everything. I mean, it shows sort of innovation that's currently happening. I mean, anyone who's been on the streets of Shanghai or Beijing, or actually increasingly Western cities, knows OFO, the bikes, and they've set up a sort of interactive display here. Look, you can actually, if you just pan up to that screen, you can see that this kid's not cycling in Beijing, he was in London, and now he's changed again. Where's he now? Where's that? That could be Hong Kong. I think that's Hong Kong. Oh look, and they're burning calories. Right, but to be fair, you know, not only is it just a fun exhibit, this shows you the technology behind OFO and the geolocation devices on the bikes, the way they collect data on the bikes. You know, so it gives especially kids a snapshot into the science behind their everyday lives, which is kind of cool. And just to be fair, because we know that Mobike and OFO are always in competition with each other, Mobike's here too. And again, you know, some fun interactive displays, encouraging people to look at the science behind Mobike, but also to get fit as well. Sorry. I think also it's worth stressing that, you know, in the CPC, well, in General Secretary Xi's speech on the work report, and, you know, we've heard from other officials too, we've heard about this contradiction, modern contradiction in society, where even though growth is happening, it could be a little bit, it could be uneven. While increasingly in modern China and elsewhere, the demand of the people for a better and better life keeps on changing, keeps on evolving, keeps on getting better. So a lot of that is about addressing needs going forward, and a lot of it using technology as well. And why does that work? Well, remember, if you're using less energy per GDP consumption, you're getting greener, you're saving more money. And a lot of this exhibition is about sort of smart homes of the future, smart consumption models, labor-saving devices that don't use a lot of energy. So let's just take you through a little bit of that. Yeah, here's a look. People are actually having a little. It's quite a big exhibit, so whenever there's a chair, people sit down and have a rest. But this is actually the smart room, one of the smart homes of the future. And basically, what it's showing is how in the future everything is sort of be integrated, using a lot of renewable energies. You'll have a smart TV. Your speakers will be smart. You know, they'll respond to commands. That sort of thing. Lighting will be smart, you know, all this sort of stuff. And, you know, actually some of this people have in their homes already. but it's growing. We all know about the Internet of Things, and this is really, quite a lot about that. And of course, in this era of the Internet of Things, we also have big data. More and more amounts of data are being harnessed to make better decisions for ourselves, for the economy, and this is, where a lot of these exhibits come in as well. I want to show you some fun stuff. Remember we showed you the. Can we just go up on that wall? Oh, we just missed it. Remember we showed you the package delivery device, the package sorting device. Well, these are more devices that we will see increasingly in our communities in China, but also globally. For example, let's come over here. You can see, you can see like things like this. These could be the next postman, the mailman of the future, delivering boxes, or you call one when you want a box sent somewhere, and it'll just arrive at your door, and you'll just pop it in, and it'll drive away. Or it will be used to monitor security outside a factory or something like that. These sort of devices can do lots of different things. They can be programmed in lots of different ways. Here we've got a couple of delivery drones. Drones very much going to be part of delivering packages when you order something on Taobao or JD.com or whatever. And it's really interesting that you come here. I live in the United States, and you come here and you realise that actually, in a lot of this stuff, especially Internet of Things, especially when it comes to delivery and connecting people and making people's lives easier, China's actually on par with the US or sometimes ahead, and it really is quite incredible. I've been in China quite a few times this year, and it's just fast, really changing really fast. So let's walk on a little bit more. Yeah, we got some of these devices here. These can be programmed for anything in terms of security, monitoring, in the community, delivering packages. We've even got a smart fridge of the future here. Look. Pineapple, not real. Where you'll be able to program in and get recipes. It will even tell you when you have to go shopping. Right, let's go through here. Sorry. What's really cool about this room is it's got a lot of very big ideas, which are explained in a very simple yet clever way. There's a lot of kids here. I want to talk about this one over here. Now, most of you who follow China will know about the quantum communications that China is sort of a pioneer in. They were the first to launch a quantum communications satellite. This basically means huge amounts of information and a revolution in satellite technology. Here, you're able to sort of tap into all that technology in a sort of virtual reality way. And all day we've seen lines of people coming up and putting on the headsets and having a go. I think it's on a bit of a break right now. Let's walk over here. This is again another satellite technology. The world knows about GPS. This navigation technology is actually China's own take on that, Beibo, and you can see it in action here on this video. It's actually considered by a lot of people more accurate than GPS, and it's a very separate technology. And this sort of simulates how a lot of this information and navigational systems are used, whether it be high-speed rail or trucks on the roads or whatever. You can see it's really busy. It's like Sunday afternoon here. What was it, about 2:30, something like that, 2:15, and it's really quite busy. I think there's going to be a couple of 100,000 people here today. So let's walk over here. You know, I wish we could show you all of it because there are like 9 or 10 rooms. I do encourage you to come if you are in the Beijing area. Come, or you can actually look it up online. There's been a lot of news reporting about it, not just us. And it's really quite fascinating. Come this way and we'll just have a little look at what else is in here. Oh yeah, they have, now we've all heard of driverless cars, but what they're doing here is they're showing you how Chinese ability GPS technology can help with navigation. And there's a simulation here, which all the kids want to be part of course, because it's a car. See, there he is. He's driving at 70 kilometers an hour. That's quite fast for a kid. All completely safe. Yeah, and it shows the navigation technology in the top left. You know, increasingly, you know, these technologies are, you know, they're not just coming out of the West. They're not just coming out of the US or Europe. China has several alternative technologies, including the alternative to GPS, first quantum communication satellite. You know, it really is going to be a question in the next 5 years of how Chinese innovation in the last 5 years is going to increase. And we're seeing more and more patents filed by Chinese companies all the time, more and more PhD papers going up for sort of global research, more and more awards. So you know, you can sense here in these rooms and at the whole exhibit, there's this sense of sort of optimism and can-do attitude, which you know, is pretty evident in modern China. But it's quite incredible to see in one exhibit like this. There's a lot to see. This is, you know, I think the innovation is my favourite bit. Let's just come and have a look over here. And you'll see, you know, long lines for interactive exhibits like this. Here you can actually, if you look in, you can actually fly a plane or simulate flying a plane. You know, it's a lot of fun for the kids, but the message behind this, of course, is this is made in China. And you know, as you know, there's part of the national plan is Made in China 2030. Where they're concentrating on several key industries, including high-tech industries, including semiconductors, where they want to have national champions. Aircraft is one of them, automobiles another, semiconductors. So at the moment, you're seeing a huge emphasis on building up national champions. That essentially means companies that can compete on a global scale with the best of the best in terms of the highest technologies. And that's what's happening in China right now. The question is will China continue to grow as it has in that regard, and will it also open up to foreign competition? There is very little focus on you know, obviously foreign investment here. This is a made in China 5-year success story exhibition. What's really interesting is, you know, it's almost like showcasing China first. You know, this is China's contribution to its own development and also to the increasing world of global ideas as well. I mean, I would encourage anyone who's interested in China, in its development, to come here, because it really is an interactive visual display of what we read about all the time but can't necessarily put our fingers on. So I just wanted to say thank you for watching. We're going to try and bring you more of these throughout the week as the CPC 19th Communist Party Congress continues, but it was really cool to come here and actually see this in action. So come down. It's a good family day out. It really is. It really is good fun and really eye-opening in terms of what China's doing and what China sees itself, where China sees itself going. I'm Nathan King, CGTN. I'm going to sign out now. See you later, guys.